Good morning, everybody. It is Tuesday, the 9th. I go into work at 3 p.m. There's a couple of little projects that my wife and I need to work on this morning. One of them is the outside carport where we park our cars. It has two on each side, pillars to keep the carport roof from basically collapsing down. And in between those pillars, it looked like it was a last-minute decision. They slapped up two retaining brick walls and put dirt in the middle. But these walls are not, they're not properly attached, or something has happened in the last however long that wall was put up. But the one wall facing towards the street, after we had our winter and whatnot, decided to fall over and split in half. Jerry wants to pick those up so her, the flowers that are in that little garden spot in front of it will bloom. Her roselia, I think she said. I can't remember what flower she said, but yeah, I'm gonna go out there here in a little while and try to stand it up. Even if I don't know if I want to do that, because if it leans too heavily on and pushes on the other side could collapse and hit Mom's car. But she wants to get them up, and I was like, well, why don't we try to get them up and stand them against a pillar, so that maybe here in the near future, something like that, we can go to our local garden center and get some cement or something like that to basically reattach them to where they were. I think basically between the way the weather's been the last couple months, hot, cold, freezing cold, warm, has just caused the mortar to crumble. That in factor, I'm not 100% sure, but I think there's an ant colony living in the dirt that was sitting right there, because I used to see ants coming and going from that area, and ants can slowly break down the mortar, because it's just cemented earth to create a bonding adhesive, and well, dirt has a tendency to crumble. That in factor, the dirt that's in the center part gets saturated with rainwater or whatnot, or have, you know, bugs and ants and whatnot chewing on the mortar, or just all the saturated water trying to seep out of there will basically find a way to make a crack. So, don't know how long that little retaining wall is there, but it needs to be fixed. Yesterday was Monday, and I didn't do a video, and I have to say it was a good day. I mean, other than the fact of coming home and seeing that Jerry had a little bit of a rough day because she just missed me. I don't think it was just missing me. I think it was just missing people to have company, people to be around her while I was off at work. She's been having, well, it was yesterday that she had the problem, and for the most part, most of the problems don't get to her that much anymore. She's getting to the point where she can have the emotions and have the feelings without being so, I don't want to say dramatic, because she's never been dramatic. It's more like so worked up that it's visible. Well, we found out why. This might be a bit of a shocker to some of you people, but under the circumstances, I understood what happened. Sunday evening, she did our pill complex, our box with AM, PM for each day of the week, and she puts our medication in there. Well, I didn't even think about looking, so I know it's an honest mistake. She put what she thought was my medicine on my side of the bed and put what she thought was her medicine on her side of the bed. So Sunday night, Monday morning, Monday evening, I ended up taking her medication because we swapped boxes somehow. And I was like, when I looked at Monday's pills, when I went to take them, I looked in there, looked at them, and I went, I guess I got a different colored pill or different kind of pill, because it was the one pill that made me go, something looks wrong, but okay, I trust my wife. I know she's not trying to poison me or anything like that with her medication, but we realized because of the swap, that's why I had very little to no energy and just feeling at abnormal, more abnormal than usual physically. And she was having emotional issues and high blood pressure, because in her medication she has she has a medication for her diabetes, medication for her. She's taking a antidepressant that the doctor prescribed, and a blood pressure medication. So after I discovered the problem, or after we discovered the problem, I should say, because I went and got Monday night's medication to bring out to her so she can take it while she was doing something in the living room. And she looked at it and goes, "This isn't right." I'm like, "What do you mean this isn't right? This came from the pill box on your side of the bed." She goes, "No, this is your medication." I'm like, "What?" So instantaneously, as soon as we realized what the problem was, and I've been taking her medication Sunday night, Monday morning, and Monday night, she wanted me to check my my blood pressure, and it was normal. And then she used her glucose machine, prick your finger and get a dab of blood on her machine. She goes, "Yeah, your sugar level is low. Go drink something loaded with sugar." And this morning, I'm still feeling some of the side effects. I'm feeling a little like shaky and whatnot, and I don't know if that's just because I'm coming off her medication. But it was like, she was like, "Okay, there's no emergency. We don't need to run to the hospital or get a hold of poison control or whatnot because of the incident." But it was an honest mistake, because Sunday we were both feeling a little out of it. The only way I can explain it for me, and probably was the same thing for Dre, was brain dead. We were both just kind of like, I don't know, just doing whatever we feel like doing. Of course, Sunday morning, I used all my energy to literally like scrub down and hardcore spring cleaning, and I got the kitchen done before my energy went out. Done. We're done for the day, and I was proud of myself. Jerry was proud too, because I mean the kitchen looked like it wasn't 100% spotless, because there was a few stains in areas that I just couldn't get up. But I was thinking to myself, okay, I did the kitchen, but not the not the part where we have dinner. Hopefully, I have Wednesday, Thursday off, but we're talking about going into St. Louis on Wednesday to go help my aunt out, because she's having phone and computer issues. And that could be anything from, well, the phone I can't explain, but her computer issues usually is because of the fact that she tends to just click on everything that jumps in front of her, and not realizing that doing that could cause problems with her computer because of spyware and spamware and all the different Trojans that get into a person's computer via clicking on just random stuff. I would have hoped that she learned her lesson from last time where somebody was able to get into her PayPal account and she lost a good bit of money. But my aunt's getting up there and, well, she's 80 something years old, I think, in her 80s. And I really, really wish that her own children, well, her son's down in Florida and her daughter lives in St. Louis area, but their relationships are strained for one reason or another. I don't know the full reasons. But I kind of wish my aunt would either go into some sort of like assisted living or move closer to us and move into one of the senior citizen homes. And the new one that's up here, the new one that's not too far away, it's right around, it's here in Rolla. You have the option of living in the main building, which has 24-hour nursing services, or she can live in one of the small apartment houses or whatever you want to call them, where she basically lives on her own. She has her own little house, her own kitchen, her own stuff. And she has the access to the emergency, to the nursing care and whatnot, which would be good for her because she doesn't need 24-hour care. She just needs to be closer to people who will come to her aid if she needs it. And she's talked about it a couple times, and we said, sure, we can help you move down here. We'll help you find an affordable apartment or affordable elder care location here in Rolla. But we've been trying to do that for 4 or 5 years, and she hasn't done it yet. I think the first couple of years is because of the fact that she had a lot of good friends nearby. She had her church and the activities through the church. And I think what it is, she just didn't want to have to relocate and start with a new church and meeting new people and whatnot. But my biggest concern is the factor that we live an hour and a half to 2 hours away from her, and the communication between her and her daughter is it's not that great. Yes, her daughter does swing by once in a blue moon, but not every time she goes calling out for help. I don't know what the reasons are. I have never tried to get into it with Janet, my cousin, but my wife does not like trying to drive into St. Louis by herself. My work schedule makes it hard for me to plan a day to go see her. There's a lot of little things that hamper me being able to, or me or Jan being able to go help her. One of the biggest things is, I understand Jan doesn't want to drive up there by herself. I don't even like the idea of her driving into St. Louis, period, because those drivers are a little worse than the New York drivers. At least New York drivers will give you the courtesy of using a blinker. And for the most part, they don't always drive like crazy people. I've noticed here in Missouri, even here in Rolla, not everybody gives the courtesy of using a blinker. They just either turn in front of you or jump in front of you or make a turn without you knowing what they're doing. You just have to watch if they're slowing down to make that turn. Little things like that just make me go, how did you people get a driver's license, let alone a car? But that's just me. So Wednesday we're going to go into St. Louis. At least that's the way it sounds like right now. That could change depending on a number of different things. My aunt tries her best to keep herself busy and occupied with various things. Even though she's not going to the one church, she still goes to various activities. I don't know what kind of activities she's involved in with her new church. That, in fact, I think one of the other reasons that's hampering her from moving down here is our churches are pretty small. And I know most of them are either non-denominational Christian, Catholic, or Baptist. I don't know if we have any Presbyterian churches here in Rolla, and that's the kind of church that my aunt goes to, is a Presbyterian church. Why so many different types of churches? Why so many different labels for you're either Christ-based church or not, and all these different labels and all these different types of services and whatnot just boggle my brain. I think that's one of the reasons why I haven't gone to a church in a long time, because the fact that there's too many. It's anyhow, that's a different conversation. But I'm hoping that because one of the things my aunt said to Jerry Ann that made me go, what? Because I think my aunt was trying to get Jerry Ann to come down here by herself, come down to St. Louis by herself. But according to Jerry Ann, my aunt basically said, well, I don't want Jim to come down here on one of his days off. He needs to have his days off. And I was like, that's nice of you, but it's either come to St. Louis and help out with your problems, or stay in Rolla and try to deal with my own problems. And not that I'm trying to shove my own problems off to the side, but sometimes it's best for me to focus on something other than my issues or my needs or whatnot, because, well, let's just put it this way. Jerry Ann needs to get out of the house because she's been stuck in this house 24/7 for I don't know how long, except for our little outing on Sunday. But she needs to get out and get some fresh air. I need to change the scenery because it's either, looking at the walls here at my house or looking at the walls at work. I need to get out for a while. I need to get away from home, just to be able to clear my head, clean up my lungs, things like that. It is very windy today. I didn't realize that. So it's like, the only thing I'm worried about is if I go out there, what projects is she going to have that I have to deal with, because Jerry will be dealing with the computer and the phone issues. Because I already think I know what the problem is with the computer. She's got too many viruses on there because actually she just gets click happy. So it's like projects that I can think of that she'll want me to do. Take recycling to the recycling bin, take garbage to the garbage bin, change light bulbs. She's got this chemical solution that she was told to every so often to pour down the various open drains, like the bathtubs, the sinks, the pipe for the washing machine. Little things like that, which I don't mind because for the most part, I'm usually just going down there to be a co-pilot for Jerry Ann. Jerry Ann will let me slip into a half sleep until she gets closer to St. Louis County area, where we get into the Missouri, or the St. Louis Spaghetti Bowl. Why are these big cities getting these freaking twisty, turny, on ramp, off ramp like LA? Like everybody's trying to be like LA. Why? I don't know. But usually when I go there, I'm just chillaxing. I'm just relaxing and trying to keep chill, and I'll either probably end up bringing a book to read. I don't know what books I'll bring though. So many books to choose from that I could take that I have not fully read yet. I don't know, I might take one of my Dragonlance books, one of my fantasy books. Oh, man, I just saw him. But yeah, it's one of those. I don't mind going. In fact, I want to go just to get out of the house. I just don't want to go and have to do a bunch of stuff. I mean, I can understand certain things because of the fact my aunt's up there in age. She can't really reach that high, let alone, she's having issues. Luckily, the only mental issue that I've seen that she has is, well, everybody has it, is basically you either forget what you're being told or whatnot, or you just blatantly don't care. But anyhow, and then Thursday, I don't know what we're going to do Thursday, because Wednesday is supposed to go up to St. Louis. Thursday, I think we're doing some shopping, or having a shop. We're either shopping or picking up groceries at the Walmart pickup instead of going inside. I think the main reason why we don't go inside much anymore is Mom, with her issues of being on her feet too long, having to use her I don't even know what to call the dang thing. Her walker. That's what she calls it. Her walker. Jerry Ann, she just can't walk long distance anymore because she doesn't have the stamina. And I keep on telling her she needs to get up and walk. She needs to go walk. Build up her stamina. But I like to go inside because then I get the ability to choose for myself what I want. Instead of having somebody shop for us. And sometimes they don't, I can't say they don't try to get the best quality, but sometimes I think their method of dealing with certain items is just kind of like, really? So basically, because you have one item coming out of one particular area, you're going to put that one item in a bag and call it full and put it off their side to bag up more stuff. I like to call that the one bag wonder, because it's like all you're doing is you're wasting bags by putting one item in the bag instead of trying to fill the bag with like items. I don't get that. I mean, sometimes I'm just kind of like, you take you take a container of milk, you put it in two, and you double bag it so the bag don't rip. And then you'll get butter. I asked for butter, you'll get butter, and you'll put butter in one single bag and pull that from your cart from the bags instead of like trying to stick the butter in with the milk. They're both cold items. That's what doesn't add, like, But then you'll take a bag of Doritos, put it in a bag, and then you'll put a heavy object in with the Doritos where half the bag becomes crumbs by the time I open it up. It's just some of the way some of the methods they do it just kind of make me go, somebody either needs to train these people better, or they just like wasting plastic bags. And I don't like that because of the factor, unless you're taking your old plastic bags to be recycled by the company, which Walmart does, or you're throwing them into the garbage, because I don't know if you can take plastic bags to a recycling center, because I don't know if they're recyclable or not. But either way, I don't know what Walmart does with the old bags, if they send them to a special company that deals with them or what, because plastic bags and those the old rings before they developed a pulley system, or before people like me got smart and just started cutting the soda can rings so they don't cause aquatic life to get harmed. I'm sorry, I'm all over the place and I'm rambling. I watched or heard something that made me go, okay, what's going on? Because obviously nature is doing something that we don't understand. I found out the other day that a volcano in Chile that had been dormant for 26 years has been belching plumes of smoke and ash for, well, according to the report, since around Christmas time, since the beginning of the year. And I just kind of went, okay, the volcano in Chile is belching out smoke because of the swarm of earthquakes, very few of them above 3 in Iceland. Could be the threat of a volcanic eruption. The increased number of earthquakes worldwide. What could this portray? What could this be the beginnings of, or the prelude to what kind of event? Then we have newer, more deadlier, or more contagious, not deadlier, more contagious versions of COVID. And then even the CDC talks about the possibility of dealing with zombies. Wow. This sounds like a horrific natural disaster / horror movie in the makes. Because, let's see here. Earthquakes basically note tectonic plate shifts. Volcanic activity also notes tectonic plate activities where magma is seeping through the cracks in the plates. That and the factor of the wacky weather we're having, that sounds like the combination of the movie 2011 or 2000, whatever that movie was, with, was that Nicolas Cage? No, that wasn't Nicolas Cage. It was that other guy that looks like Nicolas Cage. Then you have the other natural disaster movie, The Day After Tomorrow. Combine those two natural disaster movies together, that sounds like what's going on with nature. And then you add in The Walking Dead into that equation. Yeah, that would be a wild movie. I mean, throw in natural disasters with zombie apocalypse type scenarios. Um, that would be one of those movies where I go, do I really want to watch that because it just sounds so interesting, or do I not want to watch that because that's exactly what the heck's happening in our planet on our planet? Yes, we don't have the zombie issue yet, but the CDC, who has been pretty much on the nose with COVID, is talking about zombies. I don't know if I'd want to watch that kind of movie. Yes, I watched The Day After Tomorrow. I watched the 2012, 2000 whatever movie. I watched The Walking Dead. I'm just kind of like, none of them we can really be 100% prepared for, because natural disasters and that kind of stuff can literally happen and come out of nowhere. I mean, we can be looking at a nice, beautiful day and thinking, oh, everything's going to be nice and gorgeous and everything's going to be warm, and snap your fingers and you're looking back outside going, why can't I look out my windows? Oh, that's right, because the fact that there's snow that came out of nowhere that piled up so high that it's blocking my window. Or, oh, it's a beautiful day, I'm taking a hike through the mountains. Next thing you know, the ground underneath you is shaking violently and cracks in the earth are forming rapidly to the point where you literally have to either hope that the mountain you're on doesn't collapse underneath your feet, or a crack doesn't open up and swallow you alive. Yeah. Nature can be very unpredictable and scary. I mean, there are certain different ways to detect earthquakes and things of that nature, but when it comes to the snow, the rain, the instantaneous change in the weather around you, sometimes it's not predictable. Sometimes it just literally comes out of nowhere, blindsides you, whatever you want to call it, and you're dealing with it. Same with various deadly diseases and viruses. A lot of times you don't know about it until you find yourself in a hospital. It's one of the biggest reasons why CDC strongly still advises wearing the masks, because we don't know who's the carrier. We don't know who's got COVID until you or the person who you were around gets sick as a dog and winds up in a hospital. And by that time, how many other people has that one carrier been around and infecting people that they get around or go around? CDC, the newer viruses that are more contagious, CDC doesn't even understand how it's mutating, let alone how it spreads. How the mutation happened and how it began to spread. They don't know that yet. Right there, I'm coughing. I know what my cough is. But the thing is, what if within that cough is the COVID virus and I don't realize I have it because I'm not showing any of the other key symptoms. I've been coughing off and on for the last couple of months, and I know it's mostly due to my sinuses and postnasal drip, because that's how my allergies start. They start in the fall as postnasal drip. By the winter time, it's basically gotten down into my chest, causing me to cough. and then it just dissipates. It just goes away by springtime. And then sometimes in the springtime, depending on the various molds, mildews, and pollens, I might inhale through my nose. Um, Starts all over again, but sometimes in the springtime, it's just sneezing. There's no postnasal drip. There's no coughing. My nose is running like crazy, and I'm clearing my nose via medication or blowing my nose in a handkerchief. I know what this is because I've been dealing with it since I was 12. So what, 37 years ago, when we moved to Phoenix, to Mesa, where they had orange grows galore, or citrus grows. But the thing is, you don't know what it is. I might know what it is, but you don't. So I'm going to wear my mask just out of respect and hopefully keeping people from going bonkers. But the thing is, your cough, if you have a cough, I don't know what it is. I don't know what you have. I don't know if it's allergies or COVID or some other seasonal problem that you have every year around this time. It would be advisable that you wear a mask just so other people feel less stressed or worried of what you're coughing up. I know I've been going on and on about mask wearing and what the CDC says and whatnot, and a lot of people are like, well, the government, okay. Your local government say that it's not required, but the CDC, who monitors these diseases and all these bacterias and all these deadly viruses, says otherwise. Who are you going to listen to? The people who study these things and try to find ways to fight them and deal with them, or your local government who has no concern about what CDC says? In fact, if we were listening to the CDC since day one, if Trump, when he was in office, was listening to the CDC since day one, we wouldn't have 300,000 plus deaths in this country alone. If we would have listened to what our foreign governments were doing with their lockdowns and their closings and their no flight, no travel bans and all that fun stuff, we might be over this disease by now. We might have been, we might have decreased the cases, let alone deaths, by 100%. Don't know because we never did it. But as somebody who wants to see the future, wants to see where we go in the future, until the day I'm called back to wherever, I want people to realize that even though we're tired of wearing the masks, I know I am, because I'm having trouble breathing as is without the mask right now because of bronchial issues. But I also don't want to see anybody die. Well, I've already seen one death because of COVID, or at least that's what they're labeling my brother-in-law's passing, was COVID. Even though we who knew him best, we took into account of the accident he had when he was a teenager, the fact of that he had problems with blood clots and whatnot since then, and we always said one of these days one of those clots was going to take his life, but they want to slap on COVID for one reason or another, even though we're like, no, it wasn't COVID. It couldn't have been COVID, related. There was too many other issues, and I don't even know if they basically did any kind of exams or anything to rule out COVID or not. But I I don't blame people for not wearing a mask, but I blame people for not wearing a mask because just for the sake of everybody's health. It's like, okay, so I literally my wife and I yesterday or Sunday went out. First place we went was to one of our local grocery stores, and just about everybody going into the grocery store had a mask on. Then we went to get gas, and when I went to go into the gas station to get a few things from the gas station other than just gas, two people wearing masks, everybody else not wearing masks. In fact, there was a gentleman behind me, like literally up my butt to the point where I can literally feel his breath on my neck. Did not have a mask on, and I literally wanted to just, not with my elbow. I didn't want to do an elbow job. I wanted to literally just kick backwards to see where I would hit him, let alone if I would hit him. And if he would have said something to me, I would have been like, dude, social distancing first off. Second off, put on a freaking mask. The door even says masks are required. But because our local officials have said, oh, no, we're going to take the mandate off the board and let people make their own decisions, I was just kind of like, Raleigh is a small college town, so most of the people who are here are college kids, but we're on Highway 44, which goes literally from the East Coast to the West Coast. It follows the old Route 66 route. It literally connects New York to California, or Jersey to California, even though it changes its title, but through Missouri, it's called I-44. We have traffic from all parts of the country come through us. And this time of the year, a lot of the, what we've been seeing lately is an increase of homeless people trying to get from one part of the country to another part. I'm not paranoid. I don't have any paranoias when it comes to illnesses and whatnot. My only paranoia right now with the COVID is if I catch it, because I'm out in the public more than my wife or my mom, and I don't know I have it, and I bring it home and I start showing symptoms of COVID where I have to, like my uncle, have to get rushed to the hospital because he was having breathing issues that he collapsed. And they don't leave their home that often. They think that somebody that came to visit them and bring them food might have had COVID and contaminated them. But I come home every day. I kiss my wife. My mom's around. She's less than 5 feet away from me when we sit down to eat dinner at our dining room table, or kitchen table, whatever you want to call it. My biggest fear that is somebody who might have it comes in and breathes it on me. I'm wearing my mask, so I'm protected from breathing it in, but it can get on my hands, and I don't realize it, and I wipe my brow. I literally do this with my hand. I'm now bringing it home because it's now on or in my body, because at work I sweat. I do sweat a lot at work because of the hot machinery I'm around. I don't want to do that. I don't want to bring it home. Granted, I get in my car, I use sanitizer. In fact, I got to replace that. I have sanitizer in my car. There's no sanitizer at work. In fact, I'm thinking about bringing a small little portable bottle of sanitizer with me to use at work, because I have sanitizing solution in a water down in a water base, so I can wipe down my tables and counters and whatnot. My hand is always in that. There are certain key things that I go, okay, I'm doing this, and this to try to keep myself germ free. But there's no guarantee to that. Oops, this video might be a little long. Yeah, it is. So I worry about that stuff. But anyhow, that's my rant, log, whatever. Brain clearing brain clearing, like I'm clearing out memory. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments, go ahead and put it in the question comment box. I will try to address them. If you're new to my channel and want to subscribe, you can click on that subscribe button, and then a little bell will pop up, and you can click on that bell, and YouTube will let you know when I put in a new video. So until next time, God bless. Have a good day. Bye.